Nines. Let's go over how to factorize. Now, there's a couple of scenarios when it comes to factorization that I need you to be able to do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the simplest one, which is taking out the highest common factor. So this normally happens with all of them, but your most basic example is if I show you a binomial and you take out the highest common factor. For example, if I give you 3gh cubed minus 33h5, you can then break this down. I don't know if you remember how I used to do this. You can break this down into, if we see, we've got our numbers. So the numbers we're going to break down, and then we've got h's, right? So let's break those down. We're going to say 3gh3 minus 3 times 11 h3 h2. Now remember that we add those exponents to make 5. So I break the 5 into 2 pieces. And the reason why is I want to take out the 3 and I want to take out h cubed, and whatever's left remains. Okay, so my h cubed goes there. I'm going to say 3 h cubed is common. What's left is g minus 11h squared. That is how you take out your highest common factor. Now, it doesn't matter what you are doing, always test for that first before you do anything else, right? Now, highest common factor. Second one that we want to look at is what happens if we want to factor. Okay, another example of the highest common factor would be if I had brackets, right? So let's start with a simple one like, okay, let's start with 4x bracket x minus 2 bracket negative 8 bracket x minus 2 bracket. So in this one, if you remember, this here consists of 2 terms, okay? And inside each term, we have a identical bracket. This bracket is the same as that bracket. So I can take out the bracket, which ends up being x minus 2, and what's left goes into a new bracket, which is 4x minus 8, what I did not touch. Now I'm going to pose the question to you. Do you think we are finished? You'd be tempted to say yes, but the fact that I'm asking you that means that I don't think so, right? So this could also be factorized as 4x minus 2 times 4. So in the second bracket, I have 2 terms, and I can take out 4 and 4 in the second bracket. I'm going to put it right in the front, and everything else stays the same, right? So if I take 4 out, this 2 minus x minus 2 stays there. And in my second bracket, I have x minus 2 as well. So, wow, that's interesting. Can I factorize any more? Well, how many terms do I have? This is multiplication. That is multiplication. I have only one term. And if I have one term, I can't factorize anymore. So this is my final answer. So the first thing that we looked at was how to factorize highest common factor. Now, what you should remember with this 2 brackets system is we also have what we call the change sign rule. I hope you remember that, right? So let's try the change sign rule. Okay, so the second thing. Now let's say I give you the same thing. Let's go with, what shall we say? 3a 4a minus 1 plus 15ab 1 minus 4a. Now what you want to do is, okay, start with the basics. We've got 2 terms and we want to take out something that both terms have. Now if we look at the 2 terms, you can see that this kind of looks like that, except it's in the wrong order. So if I keep this, I'm going to say 3a 4a minus 1 plus 15ab. If I want to put the a's in the front, I'm going to write negative 4a plus 1. So what did I do? I changed the order so that A is in the front. Okay, I swapped it around like that. Okay, having done that, now what I can see is it almost looks the same, but the problem I have is that's negative and that's positive, that's negative and that's positive. So now I'm going to apply the change sign rule. And the change sign rule says all the signs change. That will be outside, inside, inside. So the first section stays the same. 3a, 4a minus 1. And now I have negative 15ab bracket positive 4a and negative 1. Yes, I have done it. So now I've got this exact same. Those two brackets are identical. I can take them out, right? So I got bracket 4a minus 1. And in my second bracket, I have 3a minus 15ab. Now I'm going to ask you again, are you finished? No, you're not. Simply because I'm asking, right? But you need to know in and of yourself. 3 goes into 15, and there's an A, and there's an A. Or maybe we should use a different color for the A's. Okay, so, and there's an A, and there's an A. So let's have a look what we can do here. I am going to keep this 4A minus 1, and then I'm going to take out the 3A, okay? Okay, let me break it up first. 3a minus 3 times 5ab. Okay, now let's take out. What do we want to take out? We want to take out a, and we want to, so the a's go over here. So, and we also want to take out the 3 and the 3. So the 3 goes over there. So 3a is taken out. My first bracket stays the same, so 4a minus 1, and my second bracket, all of that is gone. So instead of 0, I write 1 minus 5b. Now everything is completely factorized, and I am done. This is the change sign rule. All right, so next thing we want to look at, how to group in pairs. Okay, so number 3 in terms of factorization is group in pairs. To group in pairs, you are going to have 4 terms. Okay, so let's go with 10ax minus 15bx minus 4ay plus 6by. Now again, you can factorize any which way you want, but normally we take the first 2 and the last 2 together. Not a rule, just general practice. If I break this down, I get 2 times 5ax minus 3 times 5bx in my first bracket, and I add it. Now see, the bracket that I put here is actually going to put that minus there. It's actually adding 2 brackets. It's not multiplying them. So this plus must exist. And in my second one, I'm going to have minus 2 times 2ay plus 2 times 3by. This line here is just my thinking. If you skip this line and you don't write it down, it's okay. But I always write it so you can see what I am doing. So what do I have? In my first bracket, 5 is common, so I'm taking 5 out. I also have x as common, so I'm taking x out. In my second bracket, I have 2 is common and y is common. So let's first do the first bracket. I'm taking 5x out. I'm left with 2a minus 3b. Close my bracket. Bring down that plus sign. In my second one, hold on, I shouldn't close the bracket. First I take out my blue stuff, so I'm taking out 2 and I'm taking out y, which is 2y bracket, negative 2a plus 3b, close my bracket. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, there's movement. This looks great. If I look at these two brackets, they almost look the same. Can you see that? What's different? This is positive and that's negative. This is negative and that's positive. Hey, 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 change sign rule. So I'm going to change 1, 2, 3 signs. Change sign rule, I'm going to say 5x bracket 2a minus 3b. Nothing changes there. Now this becomes negative, that becomes positive, and that becomes negative. Everything else stays the same. Bracket 2a minus 3b, close bracket. Okay, now this and this is identical. I can take it out. I take out the pink bracket, 2a minus 3b in brackets, and in my second bracket I have 5x minus 2y. Can I factorize the first bracket further? No, there's no highest common factor. Second bracket, nothing in common. This over there is my final answer. So for now, I'm going to stop there. This has been highest common factor, change sign rule, and grouping in pairs. Next, we're going to work on dots and brackets squared. So watch the next video, okay? I don't want to make it too long. All right, see you in a minute.